40 acres and a mule. This is bigger than the music.
Y'all that don't know, black people after slavery was abolished, I believe in the 1800s, were promised 40 acres and mule. So all that land and stuff probably would have been today worth probably $1 billion, maybe more. And they were promised that, but it was never fulfilled. So that would have been the start of black people getting their reparations for people who were enslaved and descendants of slaves. First off, I want to start by saying happy Black History Month. No, happy Black History Year. So for today's video, we're going to talk about the halftime performance from yesterday. I know you tuned in, whether you liked it or not. You were tuned in. Everybody was tuned in. The President of the United States was tuned in because he was there. He's actually the first president to ever sit for a Super Bowl game, which is kind of crazy to me that a president can do that, but it's not true. What can I say? But yeah, we're going to talk about the hidden messages and the symbolic performance that Kendrick Lamar, you know, one of the greatest rappers to ever showcase himself, to grace the rap industry, like one of the greatest rappers ever, gave one of the most symbolic messages yesterday at the Super Bowl. And for some people, I've seen a lot on Twitter, people were saying how it was the worst Super Bowl halftime ever, and oh, they should have got Lil Wayne. Like, people could go ahead and look up Lil Wayne's average performances and they could debate whether or not Lil Wayne would have been good. They wanted something hype, but like at the end of the day, it was pretty hype. Now, I wish some songs that I like by Kendrick were performed, but they weren't, and that's okay. But the message was very clear, and if you didn't get it, it just wasn't for you, and that's okay. So let's jump right into that. In the beginning, first of all, I forgot to mention that he was like, the revolution is about to be televised, but y'all chose the wrong guy.
The revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
I really chose the wrong guy, because one thing about Kendrick, he is not afraid to go there. He's never been afraid to go there. Your favorite rapper will be afraid to go there because they know they will lose money. But when your morals cost more than any dollar bill sign anybody can put on there, you're not afraid to lose anything. Stand for something, fall. Stand for something, fall for nothing, or whatever the quote is. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Samuel L. Jackson, the actor, gracing himself as Uncle Sam. Now, for those of you who may not know, but I'm sure most of you do know, Uncle Sam is a very prominent American figure in American culture, and this character dates back to, I think, the 1700s or maybe even the 1800s, and it's based off of a businessman that was named Samuel Wilson. And Uncle Sam is just a representation of the American government. Like, you ever hear people say, oh yeah, when you work, you gotta pay Uncle Sam your taxes. Like, that's just an example. So how ironic was it to have Samuel L. Jackson be Uncle Sam? But also, for those of you who don't know, Samuel L. Jackson also played a character on the very famous and popular movie The Django, where he was the house Negro. So a house Negro is depicted as somebody who basically kisses up to the white man. Like, house Negroes were a real thing back in slavery days. So why not have a black man dress up as Uncle Sam, and his name is actually Sam? The stage production being a game control. For people who may not understand what Samuel L. Jackson may be referring to when he started off by saying, welcome to the great American games. When you live in America, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever you are, there is a game that everyone has to play in order to win and succeed. You either end up kissing up to the oppressor, or you just remain the oppressed. So if you want to play the game, you got to play the game. Many people could also correlate that with he's trying to insinuate that he's playing a game with Drake. Two things could be true at the same time. You know, these messages could mean different things. I don't know if you noticed when Kendrick was doing Squabble Up, Uncle Sam, aka Samuel L. Jackson, stops him and be like, no, too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. Now, if you're black, if you're just a minority, period, you know, every time we try to shed light upon our culture or just express our culture in a way that doesn't conform to the ideology of white America, it's deemed as reckless, loud, ghetto. Nowadays, they use the term DEI. You know, they really want to say slurs, but they know they cannot, because then that would mean that what people say about them being racist would be true. So they try to throw they'll be like, urban, it's too loud, it's too ghetto, it's too reckless. So Uncle Sam, aka Samuel Jackson, was like, nah. So then Kendrick switched off the song from Squabble Up to Humble, which is white America's favorite. It's probably, besides Humble and DNA, Not Like Us, those are probably the 3 most known songs to white America by Kendrick Lamar. That song is not political, not as progressive, you know, because Kendrick Lamar can be that. And that song is just, be humble, sit down, be humble. You know, they could vibe to that, you know, it's not too political. It also represents how America, the world really, tries to police black people and their blackness, especially when they're trying to express their culture, whether you're African American, Black Caribbean, Black African. Like, you can do that, but you got to do it in the way that we want to. That's the mindset they have. Oh, you want to rap and do your stuff? Okay, but don't be progressive in your rap. Don't talk about the issues within your community that were started by, you know, whites. Don't talk about reparations. Don't talk about wanting progression for your people. Like, rap about the killing of each other. Do that stuff. Do that. We don't want you to sound smart. And then the flag, how could I forget that? All the black male dancers, you know, just posing as the American flag in their red, white, and blue. At first, when I was watching it, I thought it was supposed to be like a Crip versus Blood thing. But in the beginning of the performance, I was up, I was dancing, and then in the middle, I sat down because I was really trying to like recollect, like take in everything that was being thrown at me. Because with Kendrick Lamar, if you're a Kendrick Lamar fan or if you've seen his performances, there'll be messages, like there'll be so many symbolic messages, like you'll be too busy dancing and you will miss it. So I was really trying to gather what was being, you know what I mean, trying to really digest it, really. Dressed up in red, white, and blue and making the American flag. And then in the middle of the performance, everybody divides. Hello, a clear representation of how our country is right now and how it's always been a division. It's literally always been a division. Just like what Andre 3000 said, y'all don't want to hear me, y'all just want to dance. And that's how I felt when I kept seeing certain tweets. I kept seeing it from white people, but I was seeing it from black people too. Oh, they should have got Wayne. Like, damn, all y'all want to, excuse me, but all y'all want to do is just dance and get rowdy. Like, you can do that and also like take in what's being thrown at you. Like, that's how they've distracted us for so long, because we want to just like be entertained. And like people, like, I'm always mention Jaden Smith because he was right. Like, we really should have been thinking about the political and economical state of the world right now. And like, so many things are being withdrawn and taken away from people who need it the most. And the people who are not affected don't care. And they're like, oh, it's not happening. And it's just like, privilege is being able to pretend that something doesn't exist because it doesn't affect you. Like, y'all have that privilege. Not everybody else has that privilege. And then after his performance of, I think it was after Humble, he was like, Samuel L. Jackson was like, okay, now you know how to play the game, and you brought your homies with you. You know, the men that were dressed up in the all white, and some of them had grills, some of them had most of them had grills, and they all had locks. Like, okay, he was like, okay, you can do that. That's a part of y'all thing, but remember, don't mess up the game and deduct 1 point because you brought your friends with you. You're not supposed to do that. And of course, 40 acres and mule. Like, when I heard that, I was like, I had to watch it again to really catch it. I was like, this is for all the girlies and the guys when your teacher would be teaching in history class and y'all would be on y'all phones and not paying attention. For all of y'all that don't know, black people after slavery was abolished, I believe in the 1800s, were promised 40 acres and mule. So all that land and stuff probably would have been today worth probably $1 billion, maybe more. And they were promised that, but it was never fulfilled. So that would have been the start of black people getting their reparations for people who were enslaved and descendants of slaves. And till this day, that 40 acres and mule was never and has never been given till this day. So for Kendrick to say that, I mean, come on now, he said it himself. This is deeper than a rap song. But y'all ain't catch it. What Andre 3000 say, y'all just want to dance. Y'all not going to catch it. Y'all just want to be humble. They're not like us. They're not like us. So overall, in my opinion, I honestly feel like it was one of the best male performances, Super Bowl halftime show we've seen in a long time. I don't know if anybody remembers. I didn't watch this one, but I remember seeing clips of it in 2018 when Maroon 5 and Travis Scott. Was Travis Scott? Yeah, Travis Scott was like the last male rap headliner. No, I lied. 2022 was. But yeah, like the message was clear. Like Kendrick is such a symbolic rapper. Like it would make sense for him to take this opportunity, like performing at one of America's favorite sports' biggest events, like the freaking Super Bowl. So he puts out the message there, and the president is there. Allegedly, the president left 2 minutes before the halftime show ended. Who knows? He probably heard 40 acres and mule, and he's like, oh no. And then you had Republican representatives and stuff on Twitter talking about that was the worst halftime show ever. That was a DEI, whatever. And it's just like, some things are just not for everyone. Like when that man was performing Tennessee whiskey or whatever, do you think I'd be like, oh no, that was the worst thing? Like, no, that just wasn't for me. You know, there's a message behind every single thing, and I feel like now is the time to be very clear about where you stand. There's someone that literally ran while they were performing with the Free Palestine flag, and that person's not going to jail, thank God. But you know, you just gotta put your foot somewhere and stand there and like mean what you say what you mean, and that's just what that was. Stand for something, fall for. I can't get the quote right, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. My opinion, I liked the Super Bowl performance. Now I wish he would have performed some songs off of Good Kid, Mad City, but if you followed the message of the performance he was giving, it was making sense. He was playing the game. Oh, don't get too political, don't get too crazy, do what they want you to say. But towards the end, he'd be like, you know what, screw this, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And that's when he goes into Not Like Us and TV Off. Really would have wished he would have gotten into swimming pools and stuff, but you know, I can't complain. Overall, I liked it. I hope you guys liked this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all of that. And yeah, be on the lookout for more. Bye.